So after reading issue 25, was I super stoked about getting to issue 26, which is supposed to be the biggest issue in 50 years when it comes to Amazing Spider-Man? Guys, I'm Mike Spider Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and this is another episode of Spider-Man Weekly. If you love this type of content, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I bring you all types of daily comic book content, whether it's countdowns, covers, hauls. So let's talk about Amazing Spider-Man. I've defended this series for quite some time, okay? But I did say in previous videos, if issue 25 and 26 don't deliver, this could be possibly the worst Spider-Man run in history, because they make this claim saying that issue 26 is going to be huge. When I got done reading issue 25, I'm like, wow, I read a whole lot of nothing, okay? So let's talk about this comic book. Let you know there's spoilers, so if you have not read your copy yet, right? Make sure you read it and come back, and then you can discuss it in the comments down below. The book is written by Zeb Wells. The artwork is done by mostly Carrie Andrews, which the artwork is actually a breath of fresh air in here. If you're not familiar with Erratic, you can check out that series and you'll see the type of artwork that I'm talking about. Here's Mary Jane in this comic, looking pretty badass, you know, holding that gun, you know, fighting off some apocalyptic-like situations that's going on. You got some crazy facial expressions with the kids in this comic book. So there's a lot of cool artwork scenes in here, and this is a really nice page. And then, of course, when you get to the present day, then we go back to the John Romita Jr. artwork and the weird facial expressions, some of the weird poses, and things like that in this comic. So it's a little bit different. You also get a backup story in here. Take the backup story for what it's worth, okay? Now, in this comic book, what do we get? So we find out what happens to Mary Jane. You do wind up getting everything that you wanted to know. It does come full circle. That's where I'll give this comic book. However, when it comes to spreading out a story, it didn't need to happen here. You probably could have combined issues 25 and 26 together and make that a big issue instead of spreading out this 25th issue. Because what happens in this comic is a whole lot of nothing. We wind up rehashing what Rabin is and what's happened to him and all that types of stuff. And then you wind up getting to see the story between Mary Jane and Paul take place. Peter goes away. He's trying to find answers to get back to her and rescue her. And meanwhile, she's having a tough time adjusting, thinking like, oh, he's going to come at any time. But we all know that the time is different when it comes to real world reality and where Mary Jane is at. Time moves much faster. Peter was not coming back. So all of a sudden, she starts developing this relationship with Paul. And they fight together, they develop that relationship, they have some type of chemistry, and one day they come across the kids. And the kids were not conceived, they were actually found, which I wish, in a way, and this is, maybe to make it more interesting, I wish they did have this relationship and had these kids, right? But instead they found them. Maybe it's a way to retcon things in the future or whatnot, but nevertheless, they found these kids and they tagged along with them. One just happens to look like Paul, one happens to look like Mary Jane, and really what happens is that they develop a family together, okay? They call themselves mom and dad, they do everything together, they try to live the best possible life that they can. Now, you got to understand Mary Jane in this situation. When Peter Parker finally comes to rescue her, for him, it's like days that have gone by, and he's still very much in love with her, wants to do anything in his power to rescue her. But with Mary Jane, so much time has passed by, and she's developed this relationship, you can understand her situation. And she says she's not breaking up with Paul, and she's not leaving those kids. She's invested too much time, too much energy into them, okay? So I understand the story here, and I did appreciate it. I did like it, but there was too much of it. We did not need so many pages of very little dialogue and nothing happening. We do get to see the creation of of Mary Jane's powers, how it was created by Paul, and how these symbols give her these powers. And yet we see this freaking Raven guy winds up coming back again. You think he's dead, and he's not dead. And basically, you know, that's kind of the issue. Peter is pissed off because we get to the point in time where he's basically lost everything. He sacrificed everything to rescue Mary Jane for what though? For nothing. He gets nothing in return. She doesn't want anything to do with him, and everyone is pissed off at him because of what he did for love, what he did for her. And it was even addressed in the comic book on the situation being handled differently, where I know a lot of you guys were upset on how Peter was acting in the comic. Like, he wouldn't act the way that he did, right? But again, love will do stupid things to you, right? So he did whatever he could. So he continues to act like a dick with Fantastic Four, you know, Captain America and stuff like that. And that's basically the issue. The dude loses everything. He has nothing. He's basically a freaking loser. And that's basically all that happens. And again, we see Raven come back alive. Why do we need him alive? I don't know. But this is supposedly leading now into issue 26. How did you guys feel when you got done reading this comic book? Did you feel like this was the lead-in to what is going to be the biggest Spider-Man issue in 50 plus years, right? There is this tease about Raven going, I have to kill the Scarlet Woman. She must die. So that's led to believe that Mary Jane is going to die in the next issue. Does it happen? I don't know. Could be another Scarlet Woman? Who knows? I don't know. But again, I think you could have told this story in two, make it supersized and make it 2 issues. And it was just a lot of, hey, it's Mary Jane and the survival of Paul. And I feel like the kids was a little bit of a letdown. I wanted them to hook up and actually have the kids. I would have loved to seen them, give birth to these kids. Then it would have made it a much more, maybe more meaningful and impactful way for Peter to truly get pissed off, right? She just finds them. And if you're going to do it right, Marvel, if you're going to do it right, where you don't want the fans to have Peter Parker and Mary Jane together, just do a complete dick move. Just have her give birth to these kids. I would have loved to seen that, right? But they didn't do that. So maybe it's because you can retcon stuff in the future, and then somewhere down the line, 50,000 years from now, these two do get together. But yeah, and then you get extra pages with a backup story, which, it is what it is. It's not really needed, and that's that. I just felt like this could have been better. This could have been more. It's so decompressed, it's not even funny. It's not that I didn't like this story. I thought that the story was okay because I loved seeing all the answers, right? But it was just too much of nothing and just a lot of stalling that goes along in the story. And I'm not confident that issue 26 is going to be the best Amazing Spider-Man, or I shouldn't say the best, but most surprising issue that I have read in 50 plus years, or in my entire life, because I haven't been reading Amazing Spider-Man in 50 plus years. So that's a bold statement. I was just underwhelmed by the time I got done reading this book. If I had to grade this book, I would probably grade this book a C+. I enjoyed the story for what it was, but it was just a lot of fluff, and that's basically about it, and it just leaves me underwhelmed. I am so curious to hear in the comments below, what did you guys think of this issue? Were you let down? Were you just like, well, this is what I expect from Marvel? What do you think is going to happen in issue 26? Leave me all those comments down below. If you love my content, guys, I'm going to leave you more content right here to check out. And of course, guys, thank you so much for watching. And as always, keep buying, keep collecting, but more importantly, always read your comics. Guys, I'll see you real soon. Bye.